So as you guys know, I have these horseshoe crabs in the room, and I was trying to figure out something to do with them. And being that we have this extra time during right before break, I was thinking maybe we could look at some different type of scientific data we could collect. Now, I'm going to use the horseshoe crabs as an example, but we could do a lot of different things with science that you could collect data on. But this is just one of them. This was from back in the fall, and let's take a look at some of these different horseshoe crabs. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think that was. Now, is that enough data to give a valid experiment? Well, we'd probably have to do this again and again and again, and use more samples rather than just the 14 horseshoe crabs. But let's take a look at the size of each, and we'll do some comparison. And I'm going to be using centimeters, because that's the unit that we use for most science, is centimeters. So we'll estimate the first one is about 12. I have them organized by size order. So I have a 12 centimeter, and I would record that. Then we look at the next one, and I'm just measuring. This one doesn't have a tail here. So maybe we would exclude that as not part of our data. This one also doesn't have a tail, so maybe we would exclude that as not part of our data. So we'll look at this because we want to measure from the head to the tail. And looking at this one, it's about 21 centimeters. Okay, we'll move on to this next one. I tried to do it in size order, but it might not be perfect. This one is also about 21 centimeters. And this one actually looks like it should be switched. This one looks a little bit larger than that one. From the tail, looks like it's about 24 centimeters. Then the next one, let's measure it using centimeters. So I'm going to put the 0, mark it at the tail. This one looks about 29 centimeters. And the one next to it, a little bit smaller. No, maybe I didn't put it. Let me make sure the 0 is marked to 28 centimeters. Okay. These actually look a little smaller. But let's measure them anyway so we can collect more data. And that one looks to be about 28 as well. And it's okay to duplicate. And then this one, not at the 0 mark. Let's mark that. That one's at the very, very top. I would say 30 centimeter. This one is a little bit awkward. It looks like it's a little bent. I don't know. Maybe we'll exclude that as not part of our data. And let's go to the big ones that are going to extend, and we're going to need 2 rulers for. So if we take a look at this big one, this one is beyond 30. So I'm going to move this, this shield. Darn it. Okay, so. Okay. Just to clean. Turn. And let's put it there so you can see the centimeter mark, and it goes beyond the centimeters. So we'll say 30 plus if we look at this, 30 plus another 5, so we'll go 35 centimeters, and then the biggest one is going to be more than that. The tail is not flat, but I don't want to break it off. And if you could, that one would be about 38 centimeters. So here is our measurements. So if you take a look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 measurements. So how could you turn this information into a data table? Well, our goal is to make a bar graph. So maybe you would start with a little data table. That looks at the size and how many, or we would say quantity in science, quantity, the amount, okay? So let's take a look at that data again. We see the smallest number is 12 and the largest number is 38. So maybe we'll do 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and then 30 to 40. And maybe we would put the data, we would count. So let's look at the information. So we've got 1 from 0 to 10. I mean, 10 to 20. 20 to 30, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 30, uh-oh, there's a problem here. There is a 30. What would we count it as? The problem is that maybe we can't replicate numbers. So this should be 31 to 40, and this should be 21 to 30. So be careful when you're organizing data. You don't want to have any sort of duplicates. And the 31 to 40, there is a 30. Oops, the 30 is going to go over here. So now that's going to change that number to 7. So make sure you always read carefully. And then 31 to 40, there's a 35 and a 38, so there's 2 of those. How would you make that as a bar graph? So to take that information and turn it into a bar graph, you would have size on the bottom. Whoops, size on the bottom. And then on the side, you would have number of horseshoe crabs. And looking at that data, I think we could go up by 1s, maybe 2s. I think I'm going to go like that. And then in order to make a bar graph, you want to have your first one is just 1, so that's going to be 10 to 20 centimeters. And you could put centimeters over here. Then your next one would be 7. So you could go up to here. And that's size 21 to 30. And then your final horseshoe crab is 2. And that was size 31 to 40 centimeters. We're going to take a look at a bar graph, and we're going to look at a bar graph using a survey of hand washing. Similar way, we're going to collect the data, and then we're going to interpret it.